the shame like you do. I'm never gonna stretch my shame to be with you. I only need you for a day, 'cause I only wanna be your Saturday savior. I could be that Saturday savior. I will be your Saturday savior. I could be that imposter in your bed.
I'm up. Again?
We're recording. Yay! All right. Welcome back to Harry and Andrew Have Nothing Better to Do. This is Watch That, Not This challenge. Follow-up for, what was the movie I just watched? The Hoarder. Yeah. Andrew, listen, I apologize for insulting you and calling you, giving that F word towards you, and I apologize for that. But See No Evil was not nearly as bad as The Hoarder. At least See No Evil was enjoyable and hilarious to watch. What you gave me was complete and utter garbage, and I can't believe you did that to me. Not only that, but I can't believe you got nude for our videos. How dare you? I'm the one that's supposed to get nude, okay? I am here sitting with this, okay, in underwear. I'm Daffy Ducking it right now. How dare you? I don't even know where to start with this movie. I'm going to get my handy-dandy notebook here. So, The Hoarder, 2015. Watched it on Amazon Prime. I've never heard of this movie before, and neither should you. There's nobody recognizable in this movie. The director has done nothing other than short films. It's a low-rent People Under the Stairs or Martyrs. Two main girls, Molly and Ella. Ella thinks that her fiancé is cheating on her or something, and she needs to go to his storage locker and get her journal about something. I don't know. The plot doesn't make any sense. It's stupid, and the main characters are so unlikable from the get-go. They go to the storage unit place. They meet a couple different characters late at night, and it's weird because there's like 4 to 5 other characters in the storage locker place. Why are they there 30 minutes before close? Most of the time that people go to their storage locker is like on the weekends to go get stuff or to sort stuff. Who's going in the middle of the night? It feels like a weekday. They don't know what the number of the locker is, so they look at the last 4 digits on the card, but that's the code for the car, not the code for the locker. And they swipe it and it opens this random locker that's pitch black, and then immediately some creature comes out and kills Molly, and then Ella runs away and tries to find help upstairs through the elevator shaft. And right off the bat, that makes no sense, because why would this card open up another locker other than the fiance's storage locker? What? I don't what is happening? So Ella goes upstairs, the 3rd level instead of the 4th level. This is all underground, by the way. She goes up there. She runs into not an undercover cop, a detective, off-duty detective, and some other chick. And the acting is god-awful here. It's so bad. They're not even trying. I mean, they are trying. Each individual actor's trying to do their best for their demo reel. Detective goes downstairs to investigate what happened. He doesn't see anything, comes back upstairs. Then they run into a couple that's getting a divorce. And all throughout this monster keeps like killing random people, and Oh boy, I'm getting bored talking about it because the whole movie is boring and stupid. It's so lame. Um, let's just cut to the ending. So it turns out that the attendant or the desk clerk of the storage place has been abducting people and keeping them as his like pets. So he'll take them, staple their mouth shut, and then keep them in this room that Ella accidentally opened up. Each character gets knocked off one by one. You think it's the monster, but that monster is actually just a person that's been abducted, and they look like a monster. Um, and it makes no sense why several characters would die. Like one of the guys that dies works for the storage locker place. He's an assistant. So why would the desk attendee kill him at the end? Ella, she manages to outsmart the guy and then tries to get away, and she gets up the like she goes out of this like sewer area that's connected to the storage complex, and then she like goes up an access ladder to the street. It's like almost like a sewer grate, and she opens it up, gets outside, she drops her diary slash journal by accident, and she goes in, she opens up the grate again to grab it, and then the the serial killer grabs her arm, and then it cuts to black, like, and then she's the last shot of the movie shown. She's shown that she's been abducted and her mouth's been stapled shut. What the fuck? No. He grabs her arm, like, or her wrist, basically, and she's above on street level, and he's still on the ladder, the access ladder. She could just shake him off or shut the grate on him. It is awful, dude. It is unbelievable that none of this makes sense. The fact that he keeps all these people down there and nobody's looking for them. Literally, the line in the movie is like, people will start looking for me. And he's like, why would they? Nobody ever has. You just wrote that to cover your ass because, of course, people will be looking for people. This is the modern world. People just don't just disappear. It is horrendous. It is, oh my god, dude, it's making me mad just thinking about it. Like the whole movie I was just sitting here like this. Oh, dude. This feels very much like Open House where it's like, well, nobody's made storage lockers creepy. Aren't they creepy? No, they're pretty mundane and normal. And people aren't just hoarders. Sometimes they need to keep their bike in a place, not at their apartment. They have no place to put their motorcycle. Or maybe they have, musical equipment for practicing. Like, not everyone is just keeping crap and junk. Like, they're trying to have this social commentary at one point with one of the characters talking about it. Like, oh, dude, as humans, we have so much junk and we're so materialistic. Like, go fuck yourself, bitch. Like, sometimes people need to keep stuff in a storage locker. Not everyone has boxes of useless junk. Sometimes it's a necessity. Especially like in New York or whatever city this is in. You gonna fit your fucking shit in your apartment? Come on. Oh, the lights keep going on and off because they're on timers. I don't know if this is common in a lot of storage unit places where you hit a button, the lights go on, and then after a certain amount of time, the lights go off, and then you have to hit the button again and turn them on, I guess, to save power. And they use it for dramatic effect so many times in this movie. And I don't find that believable because, especially in a place that's underground, there would be safety lights. There has to be, right? I think you're required by law to have some form of a light source so people don't, trip and fall. Listen, man, I don't know who this movie is for. It's certainly not for teenagers because it's not rated, or at least it doesn't have a rating listed. This was never going to come out in theaters. This is only going to go streaming or direct to video. It's not for horror fans or anybody who likes watching movies because it's just not good. It's so lame. Almost all the kills happen off screen. Not because they're trying to save on gore and, try to do things more dramatically. It's because they literally do not have the budget to show anything. And I understand a movie being limited by its budget, because obviously this had a very low budget. But that being said, there are other movies that have had shoestring budgets and pulled off a way better story on a very simple premise. The thing that comes to mind right now is the eyes of my mother. I think it's from 2016. Whole movie takes place like on a farmstead, and maybe you don't have that location, but that movie, it's very visceral, and it does a lot with very little. And this movie, it's just not even trying. I think they were just like, well, we need to get something out on streaming or a direct to video, so let's just make something. There's no labor of love. This is just very derivative and annoying. This is not worth any of your time, not a second. It's awful. It's way worse than See No Evil, and I mean, at least Escape Room, See No Evil were somewhat entertaining for some reason, whether it was so funny because of how inept it was, or some of the things just don't play well. This is just boring and awful, and I hated it. Why'd you do this to me, Andrew? I thought we were friends, okay? What would be my recommendation? It steals things from Martyrs and from People Under the Stairs, but I wouldn't even say that they're similar at all. The movie that comes to mind for me is Haunt from 2019. It's a Shudder exclusive. The premise there is a bunch of college students go out on Halloween night to go party, and they find a flyer for an extreme haunted house. They go to it. It's out of town. It's out in the boonies. They get there. The guy at the door says, you need to sign a bunch of waivers. You need to give me all your cell phones because this is an extreme experience. So they get there. There's other people there waiting to get in, so they think it's legit. They get inside. The doors lock, and slowly they figure out that this isn't an extreme haunted house. It's just a bunch of serial killers trying to, kill people or capture them. And very, very bare bones, but the characters make decisions that make sense. It's pretty clever at times. It's a little tongue in cheek, and it knows what it is. It's very it's fun. It's a fun horror movie, and it's way better than this garbage. So go watch Haunt. It's on Shudder, I think, still, and it's a good one. I'd check it out. It's a nice, new, refreshing horror. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you for that gem. Thank you for making me watch that. I feel great right now. What am I going to pick now to force Andrew to watch in retribution for that? Well, I'm going to switch it up. I'm not going to go for, let's just keep lowering the bar until we just cannot watch these movies, because I was tempted to turn off The Hoarder because of how terrible it was. I'm going to pick a movie kind of at random. I saw that it's on Prime, and that's been kind of on my list, or on my radar, for a little while. And we're gonna see if it's any good. Gretel and Hansel. Hansel and Gretel. Gretel and Hansel. Gretel and Hansel. I don't know. Whatever you want to pronounce it. From 2020. This is directed by Osgood Perkins, who is the son of Anthony Perkins, a famous actor from Psycho. He's directed 2 other movies, The Blackcoat's Daughter, which I really enjoyed, and The Pretty Thing That Lives in This House. It's a Netflix original. This is going to be a change of pace from the last 2 movies, or 3 movies that me and Andrew have watched that have just been complete garbage. This movie, I'm conflicted, because I think this kind of gets in the vein of what we talk about on the other on the podcast itself, where this movie has a lot of good elements but doesn't deliver with any of it. Gretel and Hansel and Gretel, they're young kids in Europe, I guess, in medieval times, or the pre-Renaissance. Anyway, there's no time period listed, and their mother abandons them. Their father's dead, and Gretel, she's like maybe 15, and Hansel's like pretty young. I think he's like 5 to 8, and she's trying to look for work to take care of him. And classic story, right? They get lost in the woods, and then a witch has a house there and invites them in with food. And so what do you do with this premise in this movie? the witch decides, or it's the witch tries to convert Gretel, who is somehow in in touch with this witchcraft, this energy that they never explain, and she's trying to groom her to become another witch. And it's an interesting concept to do with this old fairy tale, because I don't think I've ever read Hansel and Gretel or any of the Grimm's fairy tales, like literally read them. I know they're pretty shocking and messed up for kids' tales, but like any old tale or myth, um, they're very bare bones, very limited, and you have to do something different in an adaptation. And I feel like this is an interesting concept. We keep saying that, interesting concept, but they do nothing with it. Visually, this movie is stunning. It's like and the tone created by the cinematography, the lighting is excellent. It's all pretty much daylight and moonlight, and use of practical lighting where the source of the light is actually in the scene, or you can actually know where it's coming from. I don't think there's any auxiliary lighting. It's great, and the music is really good too. It's kind of this synth retro wave that Osgood has used in his other movie, Blackcoat's Daughter, and it just sets this tone, this nightmarish, creepy tone, and it's palpable. It creates this tension. You don't know what's going to happen next, but that's the problem. Nothing happens. Alice Krige, who plays the witch, she's better known for being like the high priestess in the Silent Hill movie. She's the Borg Queen in Star Trek. Phenomenal actress, and she's mostly in television and period dramas and stuff. But she's the best part of this movie. Her acting is great, and I wish that the costume or the design for her would have been more dynamic, as far as like you're conflicted, if are you supposed to trust her or are you supposed to fear her. But we all know the story that she likes to eat children, so they just make her look creepy, but her acting is dynamic, and I don't think it works, and I don't think it's her fault. What else is good about this movie? Not much else. Visually, it's great. The locations, the set design, the witch's house. There's a part underneath the house where she where she gathers the children to eat. Practical effects are great. Costume, makeup, pretty much everything is good surface level. But the movie falls apart because there really is no story. Nothing really happens. The ending is terrible. I don't even know what the message is. The biggest issues for me is the script, like the language that they're trying to come across is like old English, and it's not badly written, but the majority of the way it's delivered, the main actress who is in the It remakes, I don't remember her name. She's not a bad actress, but her delivery, she doesn't even try to do an accent. Everyone else in this movie has a British accent. The witch, the huntsman at the beginning, Hansel, Gretel doesn't have an accent, and it's really out of place. And I think it was on purpose, because and I don't know why. I don't know why the director chose her to sound like she's from America, or just kind of in modern times when everyone else is in this period time. God, it's just very frustrating, because there's a lot of good things here, a lot of good elements, but it just falls flat on its face. The ending is just not good. They easily overpower the witch, because Gretel, she now has powers, because she, for no reason explained, she's in touch with this aura. And I get what they're going for. I get what the setup is, what this story is supposed to be, and on paper I understand what is happening, but there's nothing visually or in the movie to really hint at all of this or develop it. I guess that's the thing, is they hint at it, but they don't develop any of this. They don't show her training and failing with these powers. They don't show her having these powers way before coming into contact with the witch. And I think all of that's important, because when you don't have enough buildup and you're just kind of having these characters exist in these scenes and nothing really happens, then the ending is not as impactful. I'm not mad, I'm disappointed. This movie, I remember when I saw the trailer, it just looked really different. And after, Hansel and Gretel Witch Hunters with Jeremy Renner, this looked more like an original take rather than just a cash grab on, like, well, we're running out of ideas in Hollywood, so let's just take properties that are public domain and make them into something and adapt them. And I feel like there was some original artistic integrity in this, but it doesn't go anywhere. And I feel like it's almost deliberate. And I don't know why. That's the most puzzling thing to me, is like, why are these decisions made? Is it because the script wasn't good enough and it wasn't really the director's fault? He just was working with what he had. But then there's also the decisions like having the main actress not even sound like she's part of the world, and her acting is very dumbed down in a lot of ways. It's very suppressed, and that's definitely the director's fault. So I feel like this was just a combination of, this director has a very good sense of atmosphere and visuals, but as far as storytelling, he just doesn't know what to do. And then the script doesn't give him enough to work with either. What does this movie make me think of? Watch that, not this. The obvious answer is The Witch by Robert Eggers. That movie has everything: visuals, atmosphere, an amazing script, flawless acting. It's disturbing. It's visceral. It's such a good movie. But I mean, if you are watching horror movies, and you should know it by now. But if you haven't seen The Witch, go watch The Witch. Robert Eggers is a great director, and I only see him putting out more and more good films. Obviously, The Lighthouse showed that he can, he's not a one-trick pony. So, yeah, obviously it's The Witch. But another movie I was thinking about when I was watching this movie, it's not similar in tone, but it does handle witchcraft, and it does handle this solidifying the era that the movie sets in. I mean, The Witch does this, obviously, but I really liked Black Death from 2010 by Christopher Smith. This is the guy that did Severance, that we mentioned that movie on the podcast in one of the earlier episodes. Not a particularly great movie, but I'm biased to it. Andrew doesn't really care for it, but I really kind of liked it. Or I enjoyed it. I'm not afraid to admit it. I feel like that movie does some really interesting things with witches and witchcraft, and kind of bases things more in reality. And it's a horror film, but it's also like a period drama, and it's very it has some like actiony moments to it too, which is weird, but I would definitely go check that one out. But yeah, obviously The Witch did Gretel and Hansel better. I guess we got to the part of the video that Andrew thinks that we need to start doing this, because obviously people are watching. Nobody's watching this. And if you are watching it, thank you. Yeah, leave some comments and tell us what we should be watching, or if you would want us to review or talk about a certain movie. It doesn't have to be horror. If anything that's kind of popped up and that's really been, getting your goat, like that's really been bothering you, like, oh my God, I can't believe this exists, you need to watch this. Or like, oh wow, this was surprisingly good. Please let us know. Comment. subscribe, like, whatever. Oh God, I don't know how people do this as a full-time gig. Yeah, thanks for watching. Have a good day.